Like, Floyd's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He had 50 fights and he said,
So it's
don't
not...
tell me about you the greatest fight with 50 and 0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50 and 0.
I'm gonna watch him fighting Mike. I think that's crazy. He's gonna have an exhibition with Tyson, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mike is so much bigger than him.
Yeah,
he's
but
so much bigger than him.
he's not gonna land a fist on Mayweather.
Right.
It's not after his last performance.
We were excited about you and Floyd. Is that still happening, or is that?
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, it's happening. You think I give that up? I was minding my business. He challenged me.
You look good. How you feeling physically?
Incredible.
You've been training?
Listen, I was wearing an extra large. It looks like I could wear large now.
Looking good, man. Still looking scary.
Joe Rogan leans back mid-discussion, and you can almost feel the analytical gears spinning while the topic of Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson gets thrown on the table like a philosophical fight puzzle instead of a normal matchup.
It's heartbreaking to see a icon go out like that.
Yeah. But it's crazy also to see him fight at 57 years old. Like, that's nuts.
But still, like, he shouldn't have been in there at all. I think it's other ways.
Yeah.
It's other ways for.
But what did he get? He got at least 20, right?
Yeah, but still, I think.
I think he needed that money.
Yeah, but with all his connections and things like that, I think people could have put him in the right position to make some money.
If he's got people with him that are looking out for his best interest, but you know how it is. When there's a guy like that, that's a big name, usually everybody around him pretends they're looking out for their best interest, but there's always lawsuits later on. You find out someone was stealing money or not paying him what he deserved. There's always a bunch of bullshit involved.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, especially if you're not business-minded, which I don't know if Mike is, but most fighters aren't. Most fighters concentrate on fighting. To be business-minded, that's a giant distraction. You got to pay attention to all this other shit. On top of that, it's generally not how they think.
Right.
I mean, look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap. Just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing.
Joe basically goes, look, skill for skill, Floyd is a defensive anomaly. And that instantly shifts the tone from hype to mechanics, because now we're talking about angles, reflexes, survival instincts, not just power highlights.
And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever, like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He gotta show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, he got the latest watch and the latest car. And
Tyson, calm but intense, drops a short line like, if I catch him, it's different. And suddenly the whole conversation tilts toward danger theory rather than fantasy spectacle. Joe counters with something along the lines of, but catching Floyd is like trying to tag smoke, which is both funny and painfully accurate.
No, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather.
Yes.
But they like
Mike Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock out, or I'm going to try to knock this
Would be
out.
Floyd? They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight, no disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect.
Yeah.
They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Yeah. Working.
I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements.
Really?
If there was a moment
They've
to
had
crack.
beef for years.
Yeah. If there was a moment to really... Could he hit him? I mean, that little can move still at 50 years old.
Yeah.
He's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Then Tyson, half smiling, hints that pressure changes everything, and that's where the clash of ideologies gets spicy, elusive genius versus forward destruction. No shouting, no theatrics, just two fight minds casually dissecting chaos, one praising precision and the other respecting timing. And the more they talk, the matchup stops sounding absurd and starts sounding strangely strategic.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Fighting the
that's so
It's just
weird.
money grabs.
It's
just,
so weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's, you know, but it's not really fighting.
That calm, chessboard-style breakdown Joe and Mike were hinting at suddenly swerves into a totally different frequency the moment Porter's crew starts talking. Because now it's less about fantasy matchups and more about acceptance of the spectacle lane itself. Porter basically framing Tyson versus Floyd like a Vegas residency is such a clever analogy that it low-key disarms the outrage instantly.
You know, I think that we do have to take care of them, but they're not done. What I mean by not done, because then, you know, that's a boxing term, so maybe someone thinks I mean like they can physically fight with the youth. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in their mind, competitively, they're not done yet.
The passion is still pushing.
It's still there, so let them do them. It doesn't bother anybody. I don't get it. Like, I watched Ampo and Pacquiao. You probably didn't. It didn't apply to you.
He's not saying it's peak competition, he's saying it's curated entertainment with a built-in audience. And honestly, that's a brutally honest lens. When he says if it don't apply, let it fly, I'm sitting here thinking that's the cleanest summary of modern exhibition boxing logic we've heard yet. Then the whole old guys league idea pops up and it sounds half joke, half genius, because competitively they admit these legends aren't chasing young lions, they're chasing that internal fire that never really turns off.
I think it's, you know, slop for the masses and f***ing stupid, but that's just me. That's just me, though. You know.
Did you? I hate to have you repeat yourself, but did you talk about this Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson business on your show?
Absolutely.
And you for it?
Absolutely. I got nothing wrong with two legends doing. I mean, look. Whoever's gonna buy it, that is on them.
No one put a gun to their head.
Exactly, and we all see Mike Tyson biting his thumb. If you wanna pay for that, that's on you.
The key moment for me, though, is when they clarify not done mentally, not physically, and that distinction is huge. Passion versus prime, ego versus reality, legacy versus relevance all colliding in one sentence. Meanwhile, the Evander reference hits like a quiet warning without being dramatic. Almost like they're saying structure and rules matter more than hype narratives. And when the conversation drifts into eyeballs, undercards, and business ecosystems, you can feel the shift from purity talk to industry pragmatism. Porter isn't romanticizing it, he's normalizing it. Not defending greatness in its prime form, but defending the right of legends to operate in their own commercial lane. That's where the real tension lives. Purists want legacy preservation, promoters want engagement metrics, and fighters want purpose plus paydays. Messy? Absolutely. But weirdly consistent with where boxing's entertainment era is heading.
Say, what does this do for anybody besides make them a lot of money? When the Roman Empire began to fall at the end, they called the gladiator stuff, it went from a sport and they called it the breads and circuses. That's all this is. That's all Jake Paul versus Tank is. That's all Floyd versus Mike Tyson is our breads and circuses. It's entertainment. And to Shia LaBeouf, right? Everybody like, it's just entertainment. Entertainment's kind of a dirty word to me if it's not backed with anything with substance. If it's not, because like Shia LaBeouf recently said, someone was like, man, you were in Transformers, you were in Wall Street. And he goes, yeah, those were Hollywood films. They had no soul. They were money makers. Like, sorry to break it to you.
That whole residency lane logic Porter's crew was floating suddenly morphs into something way more sharp-edged the second Raleigh jumps in talking about a Pacquiao rematch like it's already mentally solved, because the tone shifts from entertainment acceptance to tactical inevitability. When Raleigh casually says Floyd's just going to outbox him again, I instantly read that not as disrespect, but as stylistic realism. Like he's looking at the blueprint instead of the nostalgia posters. And the way he shrugs off the venue hype, Sphere, Stadium, Netflix spectacle, and still calls it dope while basically predicting the same outcome, that's such a fighter mindset. Glitz is noise, patterns are truth.
It's going to be something similar, or is it going to be completely different? Because I know...
Oh, no, Floyd got his number.
Yeah?
Yeah, Floyd got his number. There's not going to be anything different.
You think it will end differently, or would it be a similar kind of fight?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, I think it's gonna be a similar kind of fight. But I mean, Floyd's gonna beat. Yeah, it's just gonna outbox him.
Then he drops that subtle line about Floyd digging to the body early and potentially hurting Pacquiao. And I'm sitting here thinking, that's actually a sneaky technical take disguised as a simple opinion. Because aging legs plus body investment equals slower entries, slower exits, slower chaos. Raleigh also framing it as Floyd deciding whether to box or press is low-key the coldest statement in the entire clip, because that implies control hierarchy, not equal chaos, controlled tempo. And when he says at that level, you can't just walk in and knock legends out. That's experience logic punching through fan fantasy in real time.
Yeah. And honestly, if Floyd does like start digging to Pacquiao's body early, I mean, Floyd's gonna hurt him.
Do you think that this is gonna give, I guess, Pacquiao in his mind the closure he needed, win, lose, or draw, that he's able to get back? And
this fight isn't really about Pacquiao. It's more about what Floyd wants to do to him. If Floyd wants to box him, he's gonna box. If Floyd wants to press him, we're gonna see Floyd press him.
We want fireworks, but elite IQ fights usually look like layered puzzles, especially when both guys already solved parts of each other years ago. The funniest contradiction, though? Calling it competitive while also saying Floyd already figured him out. That's like saying the chess match is still dramatic even if one player memorized the openings 10 years ago. Still fascinating, still massive, still historic attention magnet. But mentally, strategically, and rhythmically, it smells less like revenge and more like a higher IQ rerun with slightly slower bodies and even sharper thinking.
When you're fighting a guy that's not on your level, but we're talking about two all-time legends. We're talking about two all-time legends, so it's like, you can't just go in there and be like, I'm gonna knock this dude out.
so you're gonna see a very high-speed chess match still, even at the age that they're at.
I don't believe it'll be high. It's gonna be a lot of them figuring each other out again. I think Floyd already figured him out.
That whole Raleigh-style Floyd already figured him out energy suddenly runs straight into a colder, more grounded frequency the second Jeff Mayweather starts talking, because now it doesn't sound like hype analysis anymore. It sounds like family insight mixed with veteran realism. When Jeff calls the rematch kind of sad, I immediately pause, because that's not disrespect. That's legacy awareness coming from inside the Mayweather circle of itself. He's basically saying the names are still legendary, but the fighters have aged, and that contrast alone quietly dismantles the fantasy narrative fans keep building. Then he pivots into the promotion angle, saying it's not the fighter's job to be loved, it's the promoter's job to elevate them, and I'm sitting here thinking that's a subtle industry truth people ignore while blaming fighters for matchmaking politics. But the sharpest moment? When Jeff straight up says the fight will probably be pretty much the same.
It's kind of sad to me that these two guys have to come back for it to be one of the biggest fights again.
Am I getting this one?
You know, with all these great young champions that's out here.
I'm roasted enough.
You know, I mean, there should be some big fights, but Manny and Floyd are bigger than anybody else. So, I mean, that's why it's happening.
Calm, direct, no theatrics. That's the kind of confidence that doesn't need dramatic predictions. At the same time, his critique of Pacquiao's recent performances hits like a reality check wrapped in honesty, not mockery, just observation that the old spark isn't fully there anymore. Then, boom, he slides into the bigger boxing issue, inactivity, social media influence, and title opportunities coming after losses. And now the conversation stops being about nostalgia fights and starts exposing modern boxing economics. Even his take on Ryan calling out Shakur is balanced, not dismissive, just acknowledging it's a great fight while still stressing young fighters need to face each other more. So now we've got this fascinating collision. Raleigh's competitive certainty, Jeff's legacy realism, and the business side of boxing all tangled together. Not emotional hype, not blind nostalgia, just a layered truth where big names still sell, aging legends still attract, and the sport quietly wrestles with spectacle versus merit at the same time.
I don't know. I think the fight's probably gonna be pretty much the same, but you know, both of them are not the same fighters that they once was. Their names are, but as fighters, they're not. I mean, they both they both aged, and I'm gonna be honest. The last fight when he fought Barrios, that fight looked like crap to me. I mean, he even looked like crap. I mean, it looked like, even though the fight was close, and I understand the fight being close, but the greatness of Pacquiao was gone.
So when you zoom out and stitch all these voices together, the narrative stops being a simple super fight fantasy and starts looking like a layered collision of mindsets, eras, and motives. Joe and Tyson framed it like a tactical paradox, precision versus pressure, while Porter's crew basically normalized the spectacle lane, saying legends have their own audience and their own purpose even outside peak competition. Then Raleigh comes in with that blunt fighter logic, hinting that patterns don't disappear just because nostalgia gets louder, and suddenly the matchup feels less emotional and more stylistically predictable. And just when the hype tries to rebuild itself, Jeff Mayweather drops that grounded realism, reminding us that legendary names age even if their aura doesn't, and that business, promotion, and timing quietly shape these mega events more than pure competition narratives. That's the real tension here. Not skill versus skill alone, but legacy versus entertainment, ego versus realism, and spectacle economics versus purist expectations. One side sees history and intrigue, the other sees repetition and calculated outcomes. And somehow both perspectives can exist at the same time without canceling each other out. It's messy, fascinating, slightly uncomfortable, and undeniably compelling in a modern boxing era where attention is currency and legacy is constantly being renegotiated in public.
I mean, of course, Pacquiao fought a legitimate fighter. And the one thing that also has changed with boxing is this. How does a guy not compete for 5 years and then walks into a title fight? When you have guys that have fought their asses off and worked their asses off to get into that position to fight for a world title. I understand it. I understand the money part of it. I understand, because now it's about social media.
Now, I'm curious though, are you viewing these fights as strategic chess between legends or just high-level spectacle dressed as competition? Drop your take in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.